but I mean, it just can't help. I like to go for all the little things and get as much of an advantage as possible. Um, so yeah, but some people are at a low level play, and that's the last thing they want to worry about. So I don't blame you if you if you're not worried about splitting your workers. But we're gonna see, uh, yeah, same matchup, same two players, and it's gonna be a lot of the same build. We're gonna even see the same supply depot right in front of the gas, which is kind of weird. I mean, you can lower it, but I guess Strelak just likes to be fancy and show off that he can, in fact, lower his bunkers. We're gonna get a nice timed scout at about right after you put up this pylon, and 12 gateway this time. Last game he did go for a 14 gateway, so you can tell he's up to something different. He could not be for as much of an economic game this time. He did rely on the just stretched out the length of the map to be able to protect him. Looks like he's not really gonna go for that this game, even though Blistering Sands is a pretty big map as well. But you should always spend your first chrono boost, first maybe second, on probes. And one thing, here I'm gonna put this out. Actually, it's pretty important. I wonder when this happens. So we are gonna get 12 gate or 12 gate. Okay, there it was. You see, he's gonna pump out his 13 SEV or his 12 SEV, excuse me, and it goes around and it scouts. It scouts all of this area, and then he just puts that at refinery. He gets his refinery maybe 5 seconds later, but he scouts all this and he makes sure there's no sort of cheese going on, which is something I love. So little minor things like that, do them. It helps a lot, especially when you're playing people on League and you don't know what they're thinking, you haven't practiced with them. And so yeah, it was a 12 bar axe, so pretty standard here, and proxy gate. I can translate that. That probably means proxy gate, but Iskal, I have no idea. Not gonna try. And Duckload did say net, which I believe means now. So pretty standard build here as well. 12 gate into did he go? Well, he's still waiting for that stalker again. He's not going to get that zealot like some people do prefer, but like I said, it's preference. He did get the assimilatory falling right after. He did get that cybernetics core at about 17. It's good, like I said, keep it between 17 and 19. 19 cutting it, and following with an assimilator. And we do get a 16 orbital command for Strelak here. So do want to keep that between 15 and 16. 17 is into the rainbow stuff, which is cutting it. And once again, so we get the first bar X out, pump out 2 Marines, just like last game, then throw down the tech lab. And you can just guess what's going to be pumping out of there pretty soon here. And now we're getting this bar X up. Here's another do. Oh boy, that was a poor click right there. Here's another do. Make a supply depot where you can see if these rocks are being destroyed. I would have liked this pylon over here because the same reason, but I guess he didn't like that. But 27 once again, the barracks is done and the reactor is now finishing and the gas is going up. So very good timing. Strelak, a very precise player, as you can see here. And we're gonna see a little bit of a different build this time from Duckload. He's gonna go 3 gate. I don't think he puts down. I'm almost positive. Okay, no, he puts down a 4th gateway. But very important is that this game he does not go for the fast expand. He learned his lesson last time. A little bit of a lag right there, but like I said, a do in last game, do get that important site. He does realize this is coming and will be able to prepare for it thusly. And it does pump out the correct unit, which would be 3 stalkers. Concussive shell would just dominate the immobility of zealots, and he goes for kind of a surprise attack. Here's kind of a very general don't be so spontaneous. Because sometimes you can think something's gonna work really well, but the timing on the Zealots coming was a little late, and we get two Stalkers picked off that didn't need to be picked off whatsoever. He did pick off two Marauders and Marine, but it's very important for the Protoss to keep as many units as possible, because this reactor is so deadly, and if you're fighting at the Terran's base, he's gonna have his units right away, where it's going to take time for your units to warp in and then walk all the way from your pylon. But look at this situation. Gonna go to the units tab. Right now we have 2 zealots, 3 sentries, and 4 stalkers for duck load. He has all of this, and Strelok only has 1 marauder, just 1, so that concussive shell is not going to be put to very good use. And 9 Marines. So you definitely think that Strelok is going to be in a heap of trouble, which he is right now. But I just want to show you guys how this is going to play out. So I wouldn't have sacrificed these Marines really. Does pick off a couple units, but here's a do. Always be aware of the positioning of your units and your opponents. I would have liked a force field to go down here to deny these couple Marines, but maybe Duckload thought that would have delayed him from getting into Strelok's base for a while. So just gonna go ahead and do this, start this back up. Here's a do. Do pull your SCVs off the line if only it is absolutely necessary to stop a very hard push. If you feel this is lose or win situation, definitely do it, because if you're gonna lose anyway, what's it matter, right? But we're gonna see 2 really nice force fields go down right there. Look at that, cutting off just the right amount and being able to snipe off all of these and take these Marines as well. Here's a very important do. Do keep pumping out units from your warp gates. You see that these times, these cooldowns being used instantly, not staying at a high level, and we're still gonna see that swap. It's as if Ducklo's not even in the base right now, and Stimpack and these SCVs coming up big. Ducklo thought he might be able to pull the game off right there. Does put a byline down to be able to warp in units right away. Oh, here's another important do. Do upgrade stim, and do upgrade concussive shell right away, and then stim following right after. Very important, as we just saw there. Very important if you're gonna try and end the game early. And there goes another horrible click, guys. What is wrong with me? So now we're just gonna see a little bit of a macro up. One thing that Ducklo could have done right there is he could have used that whole push as a distraction to make a nexus for an expansion. Now see the difference here. He already had the 4 gate and was pumping out mass units. He did have enough from those cooldowns to be able to have the minerals to produce a nexus, and because of this push, you can see Strelok kind of goes into a defensive mode. He puts up a bunker. He does feel very pressured, especially after losing those SCVs. And that huge close call, you can see he definitely is up in the SCV count. So a Nexus definitely would have been viable there. And like I said, the difference is he had the warp gates up first. And because he had the warp gates, he would have been able to expo. So I just wanted to point that out. A little bit of a good tip there. Here's a do. Here's a very big do. Ducklo kind of rushes into this. I would send a little bit, maybe a sentry because he can force field his way out of a situation, or maybe just a zealot. Send that in to scout first, or maybe an observer if you do have the robotics facility, because you don't want to rush into any sort of situation where you don't know the unit composition or however many units he has going on. You guys know what I'm talking about here. But he did pull off 2 very nice force fields which did split these Marines back here and this Marauder. So props to him for that. Duckload does have this nice high ground site, but this bunker finishes just in time. And Ducklow getting really careless back here and does lose all these units. I believe he was focusing here on this this probe right there, so a little bit of this micro. And at this point, it looks like Strelak has made quotations a comeback, unquote. But in this situation, it would be good for Ducklow to kind of back off a little bit because his push has failed. He needs to realize that, cut his losses, and maybe still poke around a little bit, but not lose anything, not commit to anything, because this deadly reactor is now just pumping out mass marines. We do have all these marauders coming out, and now double medevacs because he did switch that earlier. So the factory doesn't really come into use for Strelak, it seems, unless he does want to go Hellions, which I haven't seen him go. He has been focusing his a lot of his unit composition into just Marine Marauder, Medevac, so triple M, very standard. But yeah, really hasn't been favoring those Hellions. He's wanting to be saving, wow, his resources for that that composition. Here's another do. Do put up a Twilight Council, and do go for this Zealot speed charge, or Zealot charge upgrade. Big reason behind this is Concussive Shell plus Stimpack is a deadly combination to try to micro against, and it's basically so difficult to get around. And Zealots, obviously, slow as they are, have no way to get to this very mobile, very annoying Concussive Shell Stimpack combination. So Zealot leg speed is very important. So do get that if you're gonna have a heavy or Zealot composition, which you should against this many Marines and this few Marauders. But regardless, if you have a good amount of Stalker or Zealots, why do I keep switching those two? And there's no Banshee or any sort of thing like that from the Terran, it is a good idea to get this charge. And we're gonna see a Templar Archives come down. It's a little late. I would have liked to see it come down while he was pushing, because that would have gave him enough time to get the Psionic Storm. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Wow, I'm so tired right now. What time is it? It's around 11, so it's around Hobo 4Craft's bedtime here, guys. But these High Templars, we're gonna see just the total capability of them when they don't even have Psionic Storm. And we're going to see that just about right now once Strelak is pushing into the base. Now, it looks like he does have the mobility advantage, which he obviously does. And he has these 4 medevacs which just absolutely clean up all sorts of damage, especially Stimpack. He has this advantage, you would